Bring the band in. Woo! Well, all right. Yeah, they want me to fit in, but I can't. I'm too different with it. Too advanced to think. You know my intuition. I got bars and ink, but never in a prison. Too far gone, never gonna sit and listen. This is optimism mixed with the best. You get it? What you're seeing is a beast in the flesh. I'm vetted up. I don't need a try.
Uh-oh. I can already tell, just from when Cyber came on, I'm in trouble. So I'm gonna get a whooping after the end of the show. Something with my intro is not good. I can already tell. It's okay though, Cyber. I'll be okay. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. Nice green screen, by the way, as usual. The classic Bloodsport image. Goku decided to join us this evening, Cyber.
Well, I told you I'd be here.
No, up top.
Up top?
Matthew.
Oh, yes, I see. Yes, I know Matthew's
Well,
there.
there you go, man. Jeez, that's all I was talking about.
Oh.
He was doing the Brady Bunch look up before.
Oh, jeez. Andrew dropped out, unfortunately, last minute, so. Which stinks. I would have enjoyed doing the review with him. But hey, folks, what's going on? Sorry for the inside jokes, inside trading and whatnot and all that. But here we are, the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast on a new, I guess, venture here. A new concept for the Bleeding Edge between me and Cyber, housed in a crack house, $500,000 crack party. He and I hatched this idea to start doing some actual real movie reviews. I'm not sure how the order of operations is going to work. I don't know if we're going to do it like with Joey over at Podcast Odyssey, and I'm going to pick a movie, and then he's going to pick one, and we're going to go like that. I'm assuming that's probably what we're going to do. Right, Cyber? That makes sense, doesn't it?
That sounds like a good plan.
I think so too, right? Matt, that sounds fair. That sounds fair, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah,
everybody gets a steak, you know? And with Cyber, I already know for a fact whatever he picks, I'll be happy with it. I'll like it. So can't go wrong. Either way, folks. Yes, we are doing Bloodsport. The fucking epic classic. I mean, like literally, it would be sued if even made right now. From jump, it would be sued. It was classic. John Claude, baby. I think what did he make? I think he would have made $50,000 off this movie. Literally, that's something he made off it. Isn't that crazy? $50,000, man.
Yeah, but also it was 1988. So
I know that's right. Hey, you know what? That's right. I didn't think about that. $50,000, 1988. Now that's like what? $200,000 plus, easily.
At least. Mm-hmm.
Still, though, man, he should have got $22 million. But either way.
The movie only cost $1 million to make.
Yeah. It looks. I don't, and I'm still struggling to see where all that money went.
That's the budget. It was $1 million. Oh man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, $1 million. Yeah, and it made 2.3 in theaters.
Wow, that's actually not bad. No, that's not bad. No, but hey, I love John Claude. He's a humble guy. If you ever catch any of his interviews when he goes on pods and stuff and whatnot, he's really, really cool to listen to. But Matthew's back, Born to Watch podcast. Too far to swim. You know what I'm saying? And plus I don't know if you really want to be fucking, swimming that far with not that deep ocean, because I mean, you got Megalodon hanging out in there and all that shit. I don't think you want to mess with all that. Might not be good for you. But Born to Watch podcast has already reviewed Bloodsport. Now, Matthew, tell me, how did that go?
Well, it was very early on in our run. I think it was the 7th or 8th movie that we reviewed, but we loved it. We had a real lot of fun with it. It was a movie that's close to the three of our guys' hearts, and we grew up with it. And it was one of the first Western martial arts movies that made us fall in love with it. So. I'm going to enjoy to talk about it again. I took some notes, listened to my podcast, and saw how shit I was on the 8th episode, and but still took some notes about what we can talk about today.
It's so funny. So you went back, listened to your review?
Yeah, I went back, listened to the review, and I was like, shit, do I really sound like that back then? But no, mate, it was good actually. We had a laugh, and because we pipe a guy in from up the coast, and the sound was shit, and geez, we were bad. I don't know how we've got anyone listening to us now, but we do. So,
Ivan, did you ever have one of those moments back in the beginning and whatnot where you went back and listened to some of your shit? And you were like, "Are you kidding me?"
Sometimes I've rewatched some of the stuff I've done, but I have probably in my train of thought go, why didn't I say this versus this? And most definitely, I've done that. But for the most part, I'm still pretty happy with even where I started compared to now. Simply the fact that I look at it as this is a comical stage. Like it's your first outing, it's your first go around. If you want to have a laugh, go watch those. If you want to see a little bit more professional, check these ones out.
yeah.
So that's what it's all about. It's all about that learning curve.
Yeah, babe. My only problem, I never had a problem with it, but my only problem was like hearing my voice on the phone when I was younger, and I always thought that I sounded like I had like one of those gay lisps, or whatever. And I'd be like talking to chicks, like I feel like I would like, am I gay? Do I sound gay or what? Like, is she gonna like not want to fuck me because I'm like she's gonna be questioning, like, I don't know. But I got over it. And by the time I started making content, I didn't give a shit, man. I've never cared one bit about being in front of the camera or talking or any of that shit. Who cares? It is what it is. The content's the content. Unless you've got a voice like Jar Jar Binks, man, then you should be all right. But either way, what up, sweetie? How you doing? What up, Jazz? Thank you for finally getting a hold of me and having a nice little conversation with me yesterday. I appreciated it. No, good to know you're well. You're doing well. And congratulations again on that 120 pounds you lost in a year. You fucking warrior, you. She's looking smoking hot. And of course, she lives in Canada, where of course marijuana is legal. So she was bragging about her plants and whatnot that are like 14 feet high and shit right now. Right, Jazz? Getting your smoke on. Anyways, obviously the Mandalorian does not really fit in very much with Bloodsport. So here, I'll do one of those. But actually, folks, since it is the bleeding edge, and you would be moderating, you never know what might be happening. Don't worry, Cyber. There doesn't mean anything crazy is going to happen. No crack house stuff or anything like that. No, I was going to say that before Cyber was going to come on, just to add lib and kind of kill time for a minute, Matthew and I were going to go ahead and watch the teaser trailer for the Marvels. I haven't seen it. And it'll give me a chance to go ahead and grab a reaction from it too. So we're going to drop it real quick, and then we're going to do the Bloodsport review. And just to real quick display my professionality, here's my outline for the review, folks. Very simple. You got it, baby. Okay, USA. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. That's all we need. That's all I got. That's all I need, baby. That and the soundtrack in the back of my head. I fight to survive. Come on, Cyber. Come on. That soundtrack is dope, man.
I absolutely love the soundtrack to Bloodsport. It's one of the best soundtracks ever.
Matthew,
and as I was watching it today,
who'd you say did it, Matthew?
Stan Bush does most of it. He's a legend. Absolute legend.
I'm sorry, Cyber. I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
No, I was just about pretty much finished. Like it's one of the best soundtracks. When I was watching the movie earlier, I was going like thinking to myself, "Holy crap! I love this soundtrack. It's so freaking good." That music during the tournament sequences are just—it's the best, absolute best.
It is. It sets up. It builds up this anticipation that just fits in perfectly with like the matches. It really does. It really does. Especially the final match. Right, that keyboard track or whatever the fuck that was, whatever, man, I'm telling you, it just adds to the epicness, baby. Just like I'm sure the Marvels teaser is going to be of the same degree of epicness. I guarantee it. But we'll find out real quick, I guess, folks. Let's see. Breath of light. My new mouse is not working with me very well. Come on, motherfucker. I think it's the pad. I know. Don't get me started.
Captain Rambo? What the hell are you doing?
Entering the jump point perimeter. Gonna get you some readings, Fury. Hello? Hello?
Captain Rambo?
Is this an Avengers test?
Where's Captain Rambo?
What the? Hi.
We're looking for Kamala Khan.
Okay, so our powers are entangled. I can manipulate light energy. And you... I can totally show you. No! I'm not again! Hi. Where's our daughter? Wherever you were. We're a team. Oh, no. We're not a team. We're not a team.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Jesus. Oh, thank you. I can't wait, Marvel. Great. Fabulous.
Have we just gone full-blown comedy in the MCU now?
What the fuck was that, man? Are you kidding me? What the fuck were these people on YouTube talking about? This is a great trailer or whatever and whatnot. I'm sorry. Cyber, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, when looking at it, I was kind of like, I was kind of like, I'm hoping the next trailer is better, but definitely it looks like a TV show versus an actual Marvel film to me. It looks like almost an extension of Miss Marvel. Honestly, that's what it looks like to me, or even an extension with WandaVision, bringing in Monica Rambeau. But yeah, I mean, who knows what it's going to be? It could be hit or miss, just like with all the films that have come out in the last 2 years. And so hopefully, it'll be okay, decent, and enough to enjoy. But from this first teaser trailer, yeah, I can definitely see very comedic elements totally all through it.
Yeah, I'd have to say so. And honestly,
sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
probably going to be shit. I got to be honest. I'm not seeing much good out of that. Matthew, what do you tell me? Did you see one good thing in that trailer?
I think Brie Larson's very attractive.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Okay. Is that about it?
Yeah, no, she's fine.
And I like Nick Fury, so...
Oh, you know what? That's right. Nick Fury's in it too. He looks dope, but I mean, he's just...
But I tend to agree with Cyber a bit, which is... I actually thought it was when I first saw it, I thought it was a TV series. I didn't realize it was a movie.
In a way...
Because I didn't know anything about it at all. And when I watched it the first time, that's the second time I've watched it, and... I thought, oh, this is another series, and then at the end it comes up, it's in theaters, and I'm like, oh, okay, right. Well, it doesn't really look like a movie to me. Which
No.
Who knows?
I don't know how to describe what it looks like, to be honest with you. It looks very disjointed, and you're telling me the best premise they could come up with for the story was that every time they use their powers, they swap? Geographic location?
Yeah, it's weird.
What the fuck is that? I mean, I'm lost. I don't know. I don't know if did they bring Jessica Gao back to write the story for this or what? I mean, come on now, you know. I just found out today when I was doing some research that one of the writers for She-Hulk, I watched some of her tweets before the She-Hulk series. She actually has tweeted that she thinks that all white men should not be allowed to vote.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. So if hey, there you go. Gotta love it. Why anybody would hire her, I don't know, but who knows? Either way, yeah. Hey, I love Monica Rambeau. They're gonna make her as she's gonna be Photon, I believe. They're gonna have her as Photon and whatnot. I don't know about the uniform. I was hoping they were gonna go with her classic green and white uniform. That may have been it. I couldn't tell. But she's really powerful in the comics, so I mean, like she could pull the movie out. And if they do go in the Miss Marvel direction, Cyber, which I think you're right, it looks like they are going in that same direction, that same vibe, right? Because it worked, I thought, for them anyway, for what we got last year. It worked. Not like during any era of the MCU, but this last year. It worked. I think that you're right, they're going to carry it over. That same deal, basically, and I guess we'll just see what happens. I've heard a lot of different stuff, but you know how it is. I mean, just as some people say that the screenings have been really bad and whatnot, everything doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, not always. Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, I mean, just looking at who wrote it, it's all women that wrote it.
Oh, great.
So that's probably another reason why that trailer was probably trash. Unfortunately, nothing against women writing things. It's just when they all band together, they don't have any male input into it. It doesn't help it. It doesn't attract both sexes.
Or the men of the simps, right? Like this dude that came on the show and was a douchebag recently. And then I went and read one of his articles. He's a writer at Geek News Now Network. And he's over there calling Jessica Gao a genius, right? Like, talk about the She-Hulk series. Like, oh, the writing wasn't good, but Jessica Gao's a genius and all this crap and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. This is the guy that defended Brie Larson. Doesn't grasp that Brie Larson wouldn't even fucking hates white men. You know what I'm saying and whatnot, and wouldn't even fucking want nothing to do with them. But whatever. No, I don't. It's like I said, Cyber. How much sense does it make? Why would you hire a writer that literally tweets openly, publicly that white men should not be able to vote? I mean, how does that behoove anything?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, it doesn't. But at the same time, it doesn't shock me.
Right? I mean, honestly, Matthew, this chick literally said that she blamed anyone who questioned her credentials before she came in as a writer for the show for She-Hulk. She blamed white men, not men, white men.
It's an easy blame. It's an easy blame.
Hey, I guess you know what? If your entire universe revolves women's gender studies classes and fucking living in fucking Silicon Valley echo chamber Hollywood bullshit, then all this stuff seems sensible to you, right? Good thing we got Bloodsport, folks, right? Hey, to bring some sanity to the world. So, Frank Dukes, baby, what can I say? All right, might be just unbelievable, except for, of course, Matthew's favorite aspect of the film, the flashback scene right from jump, when we get young Frank with his fucking shitty fucking lines and whatnot, everything. Oh my god. So, Matthew, please tell me, what did you think of that profound performance?
No, well, I think we need to start earlier, a little bit earlier than that. I'm a big fan of a montage, but it's a very, very bold move for any movie to start with a montage, right? And they are straight into a montage. But then not only that, within the first 11 minutes, they're into another montage. So within the first 11 minutes of the movie, there's 2 full montages, which is really amazing. It's either terrible script writing or an extremely bold directorial move. I'll let you guys make that decision. But look, I voiced it on the last episode about the worst child acting performance in the history of film. And this is spanning all the way back to where they carved cinema onto stone tablets, and people would act them out on the great deserts of Egypt. The guy that plays a young Frank Dukes is shockingly bad. And I understand that they've got Jean-Claude Van Damme, who is the most Belgian American ever, with a thick accent and absolutely nothing apart from blonde hair and blue eyes that might make him American. But then they actually cast a kid with the same, don't even make him like American, and he's just, God, he's bad. It's just horrendously bad.
Cyber. No, go ahead, Matthew. Finish up. Go ahead.
No, I watched it. I watched that part again this morning, just in prep, just to make sure that my take is not too hot. And it's still probably freezing cold. It's that obvious that this guy is probably the worst part of any movie in the history ever made. And Australian child actors, speaking of Australian child actors, are notoriously shit. And this guy makes Australian child actors look like Meryl Streep.
Nice. I like that. Good contrast.
Anyway,
way to throw your whole country under the bus there too with the all fucking young Australian actors are shit deal.
No, there's a couple of outliers. There's like Cody Schmidt-McPhee, and there's a couple that are quite good, but in general, Australian child actors are pathetic, and it is a common thread throughout Born to Watch that we tend to look inward and bag them first and foremost.
No, and you're right, and there is more to the montage, of course, than the opening montage. I mean, before we actually get to the younger Frank. Yeah. We see him, paying his respects essentially, right, for his essentially his dying, I guess what you would call sensei?
Shitoshi. It is Shitoshi.
Who's basically almost like his father too, almost like I believe in the film, isn't he? Almost like a quasi father figure to him.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what brings on the flashback, and as shitty as the young actor is, that flashback scene is great. It really is. It's actually really epic. Cyber, sir, your thoughts, and if you want to kind of just kind of on your own way, how would you describe kind of what transpires, throughout that scene where we get the passing of the sword and we get, the young Frank Dukes telling him I'm not going to be here to be the punching bag of your son and all this shit and whatnot, I mean,
is that what he says?
Something like that, yeah. Or whatever. But there is some really emotional stuff that happens there.
Yeah, so the beginning of this sequence, the movie is really good. I really enjoy it. It shows all the different fighters preparing, getting ready for the Komatai. And it's really fantastic. You get to see several of them. You get to see Frank Dukes do some stuff. Pretty much majority of the characters you see in the Komatai they show. And then of course we get into a little bit of the story there with Frank Dukes and his Shiato, and he's very ill. He's dying. He goes to talk to him, and he has that flashback scene of when he's a teenager. And actually, it's that actor that plays young Frank Dukes, he couldn't do a accent like Jean-Claude Van Damme, so they actually dubbed in a voiceover actor for his talking. So that's one of the reasons why it's so bad, is because of that. Because even Bolo Young, that plays the main antagonist in the film, he actually didn't speak a word of English either. So they actually had to dub his voice in too. But yeah, that kid, he couldn't do a voiceover, so they had to use it. See, now, I honestly don't think he's that bad. I think it's because of the dubbing that makes it seem worse than it is.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
And so I think it's because of that. That makes the kid look like he doesn't really know what he's doing. But in general, just watching the sequence, if you watch it and don't pay attention to the voice, the kid himself actually doesn't do too bad of a job. But yeah, definitely the voiceover does not help him at all, because you can see when he's talking, if you look closely enough, you can see the lips are a little slow as he's talking certain things. So you can see it's 100% dub. Plus, also, if you watch the making of Bloodsport, they bring that point out in making of Bloodsport too, which is really fun. But yeah, I think that whole beginning sequence is really fun. That whole emotional dealing with his sensei, his father figure dying, was really emotional. Him telling him he's going to the Komatai finally, and that passing of the sword and everything is really fantastic too as well. It's just a really great way to start the film that leads into even more greatness in this film. So I mean, it was, even though it wasn't like, let's say, A+ film, it's still a really good cult classic that has a lot of good in it that overshadows the bad. And I feel that beginning sequence, besides the flashback, really was a good start to this film.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, I think that I agree. I do agree. I just think that he is bad, the child actor. So we'll move past him because we could spend 90 minutes on him. But I think that that original montage, the first one we open to, we see all the fighters, we see what their specialities, we see Frank Dukes do the splits, as we're going to see 50 times throughout the movie. If you've got it, flaunt it. I reckon the director saw him warming up somewhere and said, shit, okay, we're using that, and we're just going to use it every 5 minutes. So we see him do the splits. But I got to say, the passing of the sword where Frank's wearing that silky brown get-up is just incredible. It is so 80s. It is, and I agree with you, Cyber. This movie is way better than it should be. It is way better than it should be. I think that it does help. I think if you saw it as a younger man, or you saw it as a like around that 88 to 95, if you saw it in that era, I think you're going to, or when you were younger, you're going to have a lot more fond memories. I think if you revisited it as your first watch today, you might be like, oh, this is a bit average. But I actually really love this movie. I watch it all the time. I would watch this multiple times a year. It's an easy one to have in the background. And I just love that you know what you get straight away. You get that montage, you get the flashback, then it's game on. You see Hong Kong. I think Kowloon City is amazing. It's so you're getting everything up front, which is really special and actually really smart filmmaking, that you sort of know what you're going to get in that first 6 or 7 minutes, which is really well done for them.
No, and I actually have, believe it or not, and I don't think there should be any problems with copyright, although of course I'll deal with it if I have to. I've got the Bloodsport intro right here, and it's dope as hell. And it's not this. There's a lot of this stuff I found on YouTube. It's actually not hard to find at all. Let me pull it over real quick and whatnot if I can get this mouse to work and get the hang of it. It is the Logitech one, so usually I don't have any problems with them, but like I said, I think it's the pad. Of course, I'm hitting the wrong setting too, so that's not going to help me out here. Audio is not going to help me with screen sharing, unless I'm living in the Brie Larson dimension, right? and we get to hear the soundtrack. Cyber, you like this template I came up with for reactions? Okay, USA! I'm already getting heated, baby. No, man, as a kid, this shit is all epic. Polo, baby. Yeah, get him. Oh, fuck, I could have done that. I could have done that, too. Now that I can't do. Ah, star of the film.
Jax, you really going to Hong Kong?
I love anything with full contact. Need a few more scars on my face.
I heard you can get killed at that Kumite.
Only if you fuck up.
Ah! Oh my god. Fuck.
Tomorrow, we leave for the Kumite.
Hell yeah, baby. I really needed that after that fucking Marvel shit. You know, that really like revived me, brought me back to life. But no, there you go. Now, hey, I'm sorry, but that dude fucking climbing up that fucking tree and cutting that coconut open and shit, that is some sick shit. Like, yo, that's precision. But of course, we all know that like if you played that scene in a film now, good luck with that, man. Yeah. No,
Definitely couldn't have him playing a monkey in today's cinematic world. That is for sure. He does it very well, though, I must say. He does it very well.
Not seeing it played out very well. You know what I mean?
No.
No, but there you go. So you're right, Cyber. That is an important part. It really is, because it sets things up. Because I mean, again, those are several of the pivotal fighters that they do, you know, basically focus on during the Kumite. And honestly, the one that cracks me up the most is the dude that's fighting the black dude that looks like he's like fucking already dead, or like he's fucking like half fucking drunk or whatever and whatnot. And they're just like throwing him in there. You know, it's like, and the dudes are like shirtless, dancing and shit and everything and whatnot.
Well, that guy, he's actually that fighter. He's actually Tong Po in Kickboxer.
Oh, no shit. That's right. That's Tom Po. Wow. You know what?
Yeah, so,
it's a small world, baby.
So
small
he recovers from his broken leg in this one and heads to Thailand.
Hey, I mean, you know, something tells me, Cyber, that Kickboxer is gonna have to end up being on the menu here shortly. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I've got to see that split scene with the freaking two sticks, right? That's the best split that John Claude ever did, right? Because that looks like it just will kill you.
Kickboxer's got the best.
What's that, Cyber?
Doing the splits will kill you?
No, when he does it with the freaking two pot trees, whatever, and whatnot, everything, and fucking the ropes and shit and everything, and that shit's crazy, bro. You know, I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, what? Like, that cannot be good. Right? Like, I don't want to do that. So, like, John Claude, you're hot, bro. Your shit's dope, but I'm not gonna try to follow your path here with this shit. But no, so essentially, no. If I can find his name real quick, that actor that says, you know, if you don't fuck up, is literally fucking like the like second best secondary character I think in the film. Although, hey, Forrest Whitaker's in the movie. There's actually a big name actor in here, which is crazy if you think about it. He plays one of the actual agents that, you know, from the military and whatnot, everything that's trying to hunt him down during the whole film to bring him back because he's an asset. And of course, those are actually pretty comical scenes. They are. But let's see, who was that? Ray Jackson, Donald Gibb.
Yep.
Donald Gibb. There's some again.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds. Oh, Cyber. Matthews, he's adding more stuff to my list, man.
Yeah, he plays Ogre.
Ogre.
He had a small part in that movie Hancock with Will Smith too, as well. In 2008, he plays one of the inmates that he's doing the anger management classes with.
Dude, Revenge of the Nerds are classic movies, man.
Yeah, that's another one you can't do nowadays.
Nah, classic movies, man. Seriously. You know, like, it's not woke at all, you know? And, hey, what can I say? I'm not going to get into it, but really good classic movie, man. Haven't seen it in a while, but so no. So essentially, Frank pulls the slip. I'm not sure. I think he's based in the UK, isn't he? In the beginning of the film, isn't he in the UK or Germany or something like that? In the military, they don't really say. Or is he in the US?
I was just assuming he's in the US. I don't think it says he's in Europe or anything.
Okay.
I was just assuming he's in the US.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's in the U.S. and they're already worried. They've heard whispers that he wants to go to the Kumite, right? And so he's like, oh, I got to take a shower, and he dips, and flees, right? Takes off, heads over to do the Kumite, right? And carry on the line, carry on the name, right, of his sensei or whatever and whatnot, right? His clan. And of course there's the whole, point where they do actually question him on that. I forget the name of the last name itself.
Tanaka.
The Tanaka clan. The Tanaka clan. Senzo Tanaka. Roy Choi is the actor that plays him. Syra, I take it is that one of your kung fu? Are you mimicking one of the fighting styles?
No, I'm stretching.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you were trying to mimic the monkey dude or.
It was the cyber monkey.
Oh, okay.
Cybernetic monkey.
Hey, it's got a good ring to it. You never know. But no, so at that point, right? I mean, from there you go, baby. You got it. You got it. You got it. Hey.
The hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes?
Yep.
Huh?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said.
Catch her outside, and she'll go outside and do what she has to do. That's what she's talking about.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah,
is
okay,
all,
yeah.
This is all, but don't you see that this is all mouth? This is mouth.
Oh,
So you want to take...
Yo, that mom is toxic as fuck, bro.
Why? How? That girl was only 13? Holy crap. She looked like she was already in her 20s.
I don't know, but I banged the fuck out of her, though. At this point now, she's got to be above 18. I'd smash that shit.
She's got OnlyFans, I think.
I figured she had to do porn or whatever by now.
Yeah, she's got She's made a ton of money on OnlyFans.
Hey, when you're as talented as she is, I mean, I would only see that happening, right? I mean, she's definitely intellectual.
Full of talent.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, there's nothing like nothing more impressive than a fake gangsta freaking crackhead fucking white chick. You know what I'm saying, that thinks she's from the hood or whatever, whatnot, and shit and everything and all that. I love it. Dr. Phil's like, catch me outside? What the fuck is that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Oh my god. How Dr. Phil even tolerate some of that shit? I don't even know, man. I'm serious. And that mom, oh my god. When she said she's gonna go out there and handle her business, I didn't know if that meant she's gonna like give some dude a blowjob or like, what that meant or whatever. But that whole freaking that whole show is just gold. If you ever watched it, Matthew, you gotta watch it, man. It's gold. I'm serious. She drops some bombs. Her explanations and reasons and premises for doing some of the stuff she does are just unbelievable. Fabulous, baby, fabulous. And it's good to know that she's doing it from a capitalistic way, that she's not for now. Good for her. So, okay, USA for her. But no, so so basically, Frank Dukes gets over there. Of course, from jump, basically, he goes right to the, I guess you could say the sort of the dojo center, right, where they're going to have the kumite, and that's where he gets questioned, on his whole claim of representing the Tanaka clan, and has to then perform the whole, breaking the bricks deal and all that and whatnot. No, I forget the move that the guy says.
The Dimmak.
The Dimmak. Yep, the Dimmak.
Yep.
The Dimmak. And so Frank steps up and fucking blasts that shit, right? And the Dimmak ends up being what? He has to drop a blow on the bricks, right, that are stacked up to a point where somehow the bottom brick has to break, right? Like,
doesn't just break; it just freaking blows apart.
oh yeah, it just busts apart
amazing.
completely. Yeah, no, completely. And something tells me John Claude would even do that, probably, if he wanted to. I don't know, but he probably could.
Definitely could. Definitely could.
Yeah, who knows, right? But no. So it was very impressive, right? And obviously, what's his name? He has some of his
Jackson.
classic. Jackson.
This is funniest part of the movie, right? Definitely here, where he tries to do the Dimac.
Oh, he does the Dimac, his imitation of the Dimac, yeah. Doesn't he just smashes the fucking whole shit, like whatever, you know?
He
And
brushes it off and says, not a piece gone, and then smashes it on his head. It's incredible.
Not a scratch on.
Not a
this
scratch.
and he's drinking beer the whole time. He's got a can of beer the whole time. He's drinking the whole time. Oh my god.
So good. He's so good.
He shows up at the Kumite with a beer.
Yeah.
Right? Anyways.
And
go ahead, Matthew.
And a Harley Davidson bandana.
Yeah.
He's the best. He's just the best.
No, he's awesome. He's literally the best. He is awesome. That's why it's so profound and like actually painful. Like it's almost emotional when what happens when he actually takes on Bolo Chong Li, right? Which you knew was coming. There was no way around it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're building up to it the whole time. You know what I mean? It's one of the times where you really it's going to happen. And then they use that same trope over and over and over again, basically. Kickboxer mimics it, but either way. Then we launched right into the tournament, right, guys? And, again, I'll go to you, Matthew, and I'll go to you, Cyber. What did you think of those initial matches that we get to see? And then, of course, we do also get the introduction of I guess she is a reporter, who ends up being like John Claude's or Dukes' hoe. While he's there, basically. Leah Ayres as Janice Kent. Oh, she still is damn good, too. Shit. There you go.
She's a very pretty lady. But we get introduced to her because she's being accosted by Hussein at the bar.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which is another great scene where he's, again, another completely unwoke 1988 scene where it's like, you woman, me man, come and do what I say sort of thing. And he's off trying to have his way with her, and Frank steps in and wins the lady.
Like she's straight property. He's like, I'll bet you, if I lose, she's yours.
Yeah, and so he wins her, and then she's really just trying to do whatever she can to get into the Kumite, and ends up, boning Frank for the right.
She would have boned the other dude too.
She probably would have, yeah. She wouldn't have liked it as much as she did with Frank, but she would have done it. Yeah. But I think her only purpose in the whole movie is so we get the gratuitous ass shot of John Claude pulling his G-string of his undies up.
That's it.
After the sex scene.
No, we don't even get to see her titties or anything, do we?
Nah, nothing.
Nothing, no. Which is very, very disappointing, to be honest with you, from the 80s.
Yeah, there's a lack of nudity in this movie. They miss an opportunity there. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there's nudity in everything in the 80s.
Budget wasn't big enough.
I'm not even sure if they even had clauses in contracts like that back then. For what did they have? Cyber, did the female actresses at that scale even have stuff like that where they would get extra pay?
I'm sure there was some sort of clauses and things like that they procured. Some, I'm sure, came up with that idea. But I would say for the most part, I mean, most of the women you saw in movies in the 80s that were nude in films, they just did it because they thought they had no choice they had to in order to get the part. So, that's just, how the cookie crumbled at that time. But at the same time, though, I mean, there's plenty of them that came in. Some were the Playboy centerfolds. Some were, they just were known for being nude and they didn't care. I mean, so this just happened to be one of those films that it didn't happen in.
I'd love to know who the first actress was that actually asked for actually asked for like an option or something like that in her contract where she said, "I'm going to do it."
Well, wasn't Halle Berry the first one really she got paid $1 million to go topless in Swordfish. I think she was the first one to demand more money to get her boobs out. So that was in the 2000s. So like, it's not that long ago that it started. Before that, it was just, well, you're either going to do it or you're not. She hang it all out there, so to speak, and said, I want some money, 500 a pair, 500 a piece, and pay us the $1 million, I'll get them out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to think that like Kim Basinger or Michelle Pfeiffer or one of them would have beforehand. You know what I mean? You'd think would have.
Yeah, maybe.
Just logically been like, you know what? If I'm gonna do all like Basic Instinct, right? I'm gonna want. You know what I mean?
Well, I think, but with Basic Instinct, like Sharon Stone wasn't a big deal until really after that. She'd really only done Total Recall and Alan Quartermain. So I think what Cyber's saying is true, that it was one of these things where they did it because they thought that they just had to do it.
Yes.
Like I know, I do know that with Basic Instinct that Sharon Stone did not sign up for the Flash scene. Like she didn't realize that was going to be in the movie until she actually saw it. And really, without that, it's just another movie. That sort of essentially put her on the map, so to speak. But I think it was just done because they thought they had to do it. You know, they had to get nude because everyone else did.
I also think it's possible that back then that there were things were commonsensical to where Michelle Pfeiffer probably negotiated, or her agent negotiated, knowing what she was going to be doing.
Yes.
There didn't have to be a clause or something like that, right? Hey, you're going to have her like, you know, basically doing porno type stuff. She needs to get paid, right? I think at that point, probably that's how things were probably maybe somewhat done to some extent. But you're right. She had not done anything really.
Yeah.
No, Basic Instinct built her after that. Then she did what? Was it Sliver?
Yep. She
Right?
got really into that erotic thriller sort of. She got into that. She did The Specialist with Sylvester Stallone with a terrible sex scene in the shower.
Then she did Casino. I think she even got nominated for an Oscar for Casino, didn't she? Cyber?
Yeah,
she did.
Yeah, she's great in that.
Yeah, I think for what? Best Supporting Actress?
Yep.
That was a great cast. Good film. Another one, I'll add that to the list too. No, and honestly, the initial fights, it's basically everything standard. You know, you see what you expect to see. Everybody we saw from like that intro basically just goes out there and handles their business, basically, right? And right from jump, I don't think, I want to say in day one that YOLO doesn't kill anybody, if I remember correctly.
No, there's no murder on day one.
No, he doesn't. Not yet. But, you know, essentially, right, like Ray Jackson just like straight fucking like doms this dude, just crushes him, right? Then throws him off the fucking ring or whatever, right from jump. You know, he's got that whole style going on, that bear style. And, you know, basically from there, that's when we do get the interaction between, you know, Janice Kent, Leah Ayres, and John Claude, and they actually have dinner and whatnot and everything, and she actually like makes a move on him, right? So 80s, baby. She's like, you know, she tells him like, you could hit this if you want, like after dinner or whatever. He doesn't even have to ask. So, God, how things have changed. But either way, of course, we then, I think right off that, we basically end up getting the famous G-string nude shot of John Claude, right? It was a very muscular, nice ass, of course. You know, even I can appreciate that, I guess. And we move on, right? You know, we get one of our first scenes where we're getting chased by the agents. They're fun. They are pretty funny, right? You know, Forrest Whitaker. Whoever thought Forrest Whitaker would pop up in a movie like Bloodsport? Norman Burton as Agent Helmer at the CID, and Forrest Whitaker as Agent Rollins. And, you know, and they chase John Claude, right, through the streets of, like, Hong Kong or whatever and whatnot, everything. And he's knocking over fruit carts and shit, everything and whatnot, you know, and eludes them. And that ends up being sort of the comic relief, you know, of the film, along with, the, you know, the other stupid stuff that I really find funny. But at that point, we just continue on with the Kumite and the good-ass fucking music and the soundtrack that is just killer and will haunt you forever in the back of your mind. And things get a little bit more brutal. You know, and we see John Claude. I love it. You tell me. I'll let you go, Cyber, and go first. I love seeing John Claude smash that big dude, man. That big heavy dude that fucking like threw the dude from the jump, and his boys had to catch him and shit and whatnot. When he drops down to the splits and catches them with that fucking nut shot, that was dope, man. I love that fight. I thought that was really good. And of course, we also do see, at that point, Chong Li kill his first combatant.
Yeah, I mean that whole sequence is really done well. Him fighting that really tall Asian guy. I felt that I was surprised he wasn't a sumo wrestler. He looked like a sumo wrestler to me.
He did.
And so him being more toned and stuff, unlike a sumo wrestler, is still being extremely tall. That you don't see that very often with Asian men. So that was like interesting to see this really tall, big Asian guy. And so I thought it was really cool how that sequence where he kicks his butt and hits him in the nards, which was absolutely freaking hilarious. And I remember just thinking to myself, the first time watching this, I remember going, oh, right in the nards. I'm thinking to myself, well, like, oh God, that would hurt so bad. I would have fell over. And the guy kind of like could have stood still after being punched there. And then finally John touches him, makes him fall over, but at the same time, just like, oh, I feel for him. I feel for you, bro. And, but yeah, that was like, Matt was saying, every other scene, John is, doing his splits. And so that was one of his famous split sequences in the film, besides, at that one sequence there when, Donald Gibb goes and it's like, okay, are you ready? And he's doing it. He's got his legs spread on the two chairs and he's like doing the meditation and crap. And you're just like, he's like, you gonna be okay there, man? That was like just super hilarious. Like Donald Gibb, he is always so awesome. I always loved him. And so him being in this movie was so much fun. And like his presence in the movie just made it so funny and like fun and just like kick butt. And but his like relationship I felt with John Claude in several of the scenes were just on point and fun too. But yeah, that sequence was really well done. I thought that was a really fun fight sequence.
No, and just to kind of, I guess, maybe again inspire a little bit of like some visuals for us and whatnot and everything to kind of help us out with with the review. I've got the trailer. It's very short. It's only like 1 minute and 3 seconds long. For Bloodsport, 1988, and I'll drop it right now.
For centuries, the Society of the Black Dragon has sanctioned an ancient rite of combat, known as the Kumite, open only to the world's most lethal warriors. It has never been won by a Westerner.
You are not Japanese. I can do it.
Now, for the first time, the true story of America's super agent, Frank Dukes, can be revealed.
Uncle Sam can't afford to let you get hurt.
I'm going to Hong Kong.
Frank is going to fight in the Kumite, and we're here to stop him.
An awesome human weapon.
It hurts me just looking at it.
Who infiltrates the Chinese underworld.
Hey, good music. Oh, I love that music. That really fits. That kind of actually like belies the fucking the Bloodsport soundtrack a little bit there. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure how that even fit in, but either way, I love this little reaction video deal I have going on here. This template layout when that is dope. But no, so I mean, so he is from the U.S. How I missed them actually saying like, the U.S. can't afford to lose him and all this shit and whatnot. I don't know. I guess I just assumed with his accent and whatnot, it would make no fucking sense logically for him to be from the U.S. I don't know how that would even make any sense, but whatever. But hey, everything we just talked about was right there, right? I mean, it was all in full view, so you gotta love that. And Matthew, my friend, that when we get the second day of the fights at the Kumite, We also get that classic shot where I think it's I think it's the second day, isn't it? Where the attendant of the ring picks up the tooth and like bites it and shit, whatnot, and everything, puts it in his pocket.
Yeah, that's after Frank lays him out and he already beats him, but then he comes back from the dead, and then he kicks him again and kicks him off the padding, and he steals the tooth. It's good, and then wipes the blood, and then there never seems to be any blood on the mat, but there's this massive stain of blood that he's wiping.
Yeah, the blood's always gone.
Yeah, the blood's always gone. So they got an amazing cleaning crew at the Kumite. There's no doubt. Yeah, corporate cleaning is amazing. But I just want to. It's great. We touch on that on the lyrics to some of the songs, and I think I think we all agree that the soundtrack is like top notch, and it's without a doubt probably the best part of this movie, right? And I just want to read you the first verse of "Fight to Survive," which is the Kumite song, which is just right. So this is Lyricist 101, and this is some of the best you'll ever hear, right? So it's, my body's ready, my heart's on fire, I'm going to push it over the wire. Perfect timing, tight as a drum, the final battle's already won. I'm taking hold of every moment, given strength by the breath of life. I'm going to stake my claim, I fight to survive. Now, come on. That is quality songwriting right there. That's like something that Survivor would write for Rocky.
Oh yeah, oh no, without question. I mean, that's the song that I'm singing. That's in my head.
Can't get it out of your head. It's a great song. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Look, the second day is good, and I think the second day is the day where Chong Li kills someone just by looking at them. Is that the one where he just like and the guy just dies? The concern for me is that Chong Li is a serial killer, right? So he kills 4 people in this movie, and it's okay because it's an underground martial arts tournament. Not sure he gets away with killing 4 people, and apparently before Frank turned up, he just used to murder people at will. So that's the one thing I thought through this is that, surely the killing the people, and not just like accidentally killing them like you killed them in the ring. He murders them. Like he's already won the fights, and then he like stomps their head, squashes it like a pumpkin, right? He doesn't hold back, old Chong Li, which is from a cinematic perspective is amazing, but you start going, well, mate, you're going to jail. There's no doubt.
But nobody even questioned that shit back in the day.
No, there's no question. There's no question.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. But, I think the second day is good because we start to weed everything out, and we know that it's pointing towards, we know that Jackson's going to fight. We know he's on the beeline for Chong Li, and we know that Frank's going to fight his semi-final. We know it's all going towards what's going to be the inevitable end. I think we also get on day 2 is when he's late, and we get the guy who's the gambler, and he's standing up and asking him if he's going to be okay. He's placing all the bets, and another thing is that, have you noticed that when they place bets, everyone's just holding money up in the air, and it's just like, how does anyone know what anyone's betting? Right?
That's what I was wondering too. I was about to say, like, not only is it so stereotypically the way they treat the Asian people over there. Oh my god, man, it's fucking. It's like, I'm sorry, but fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? They're like a bunch of they sound like a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's one of the great movie tropes where people just hold money in the air and people grab their money.
How does that work? How do you fucking work that out, man? Like,
I don't know. Definitely wouldn't fly at Vegas, that's for sure. But I think it's a great. The fights are amazing all the way through the movie, and then they're not too long. They're just the right amount of violent, and I think that's the beauty that they get is that if a fight only needs to be 13 seconds, it's 13 seconds. There's no faffing around with slow-mo. Like John Woo nowadays would throw 35 slow-mos in it, and a fight would go for 2 or 3 minutes for 10 seconds worth of action. But here it's almost, it feels like it's real time. Like when he breaks the record at 14.8 seconds that they managed to be able, that's on day 1 where they managed to be able to stencil his name and the number on a piece of paper and get it up on the slide as soon as it happens. I think that was the world record, not how quick the knockout was. It was how fast we can write a sign and get it up on the board. But yeah, day two is. I think day two is the best part. Like it's it's the bullshit's been weeded out, and we're just into it. It's great. We've also obviously had the chase and.
Well, don't forget too. I also made sure to put in my outline the classic slow motion fucking with John Claude. You know what I'm saying? When he kicks the dude and shit. He does that a couple times.
Yeah, doesn't he just keep kicking like 3 or 4 times? And on one time he goes from the different side, but it hits the same side as the first kick.
No, it doesn't go that way actually. But no, but he does. He does definitely. They slow mo and his lips shake and shit and everything and whatnot. You know, all that classic John Claude, baby. Classic.
Oh no, his Oscar performance comes when he gets hit with the powder. That's his Oscar. Right.
Well, there you
John
go.
Claude's going for it, right?
And Cyber, you tell me. Now, again, the pace of the film is very quick, right? Like it really just, I mean, we go from Kumite and then right back, right? If we're not Kumite, it's straight up. It's John Claude getting chased again by Helmer and Rollins, right? Or he's hanging out, of course, with Janice Kent again, hitting it again, right? Which I don't blame him. Good man. Then the one night stander. It's very compact, it's very tight, runs real quick. Do you think that that was kind of like how we got a lot of these 80s classic action films sort of had that vibe?
Oh, very much so. I think a lot of them did. Even a lot of the 90s through the mid 90s, I would say, like Kickboxer itself is very much like that. It's very direct and to the point is a lot of these action films. And that's because, they give action, they give a little story, they give action, they give a little story. And that's how it's supposed to be, for action films, really think about it. Because think about it, how many people actually want to see this huge ass storyline go along and then just a little bit of action if it's supposed to be an action movie? So I just think that makes sense that they would keep it flowing like they did with this film, getting to the Komite fights and, with a little bit of the extra kind of like accoutrement thrown in there for these little scenes, like when Donald Gibbs in the hospital, when, he has his one night stand with, Leia Reyes and stuff like that. So like they didn't focus too much on that and they focused mostly on the action, which is, I think, another reason why it was like such a great film is because it really showed you what was going on the Kumite instead of being like, okay, we're going to be going to the Kumite. We're going to show you about 2 scenes where there's a couple fights. And then all of a sudden, the rest of the film is about, Frank's backstory or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think that was a good advantage for them to do it, to be like that. But yeah, I think a lot of those films, through the 80s, through the 90s, even in the 70s, I feel like the late 70s, they were much like that. The action films, they got to the point, to the action, and very little storyline. And I think that just plays the best for action films because me personally, if I'm going to see an action film, I want to see the action. I don't really care about story. I care about the action. So I think they did a good job with Bloodsport.
No, and Matthew, I would say with Kickboxer, there maybe is a little bit more story, right? They do kind of try to go a little bit more of that, in terms of the training and whatnot and everything, and trying to really pay off and feed off of what happens with his brother, right?
Yeah, I think they do a little bit. It's still smattered through the training the training of him in Kickboxer. So there's still the action of the training. And then you've got obviously at the start with his brother, and then you've got the girl who gets Tongpo rapes, and then there's all these there's still little bits of all hurdles he's got to jump all the way through, and then eventually you get to the final fight at the end. But with this, I agree with Cyber. I think there's no bullshit. There's no fat on this movie at all. It's all action, and the little bit of story they give is enough. Like we know that Frank and Jackson are good mates. They, until the end when they go, "I love you, brother." Like it's, that there's something there, and the rest of it doesn't matter. I don't care. Pardon me. I don't care about the other fighters. I just really care about Frank and Jackson. They're the only 2 people and I want Chong Li to get his ass kicked. That's really the only thing in the movie, and essentially that's what we're leading to. And not wasting any time with anything else. Everything's, you know, you're either at the Kumite or it's 2 minutes of some sort of story, and that's perfect. And a lot plays out at the Kumite, right? So, you know, I think that's the good thing as well, where there's a lot of stuff that happens in the crowd. I love that they call their names, they get up, they take their shirt off, they walk out of the crowd, they're sitting there watching the fights. They just get out and they fight. Like, I think that's excellent, right? I think that's, there's just no bullshit. I think it's great. And
well,
you're
yeah,
right, like Seagal movies were like that as well. And like those first five Seagal movies, which were excellent before he got way too big for his own boots, were just, you know, we just want to see him kick someone's ass. We want to see him put a pool ball in a sock and crack skulls. Like, we don't really care about it. And so it was only until probably the late 90s, early 2000s where they thought that we cared about story, and we don't, right? And then it's not until Taken comes out in like the 2008 or 2009 where they go back to that sort of just action, and we go, shit, where's that been, right? So yeah, I think it's perfect. The story's perfect. Like, it doesn't need any storyline to it.
No, and they do a great job. You're right, because I mean, basically the way they tie it up with the agents is that, you know, after he essentially like once essentially Helmer and Rollins, Whitaker and Burton from CID, who are trying to catch him, they end up hooking up with a local police inspector, Chen, and they figure out where he's at and everything and whatnot. They have him, and finally they're able to corner him, and they've got him. And he's like, look, I ain't leaving until I fucking, you know, finish the Kumite and win that bitch. And they're like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. They go sit down and watch that shit. And they're like, they're the same way as the freaking other people. They're like, you know, holding up money and shit, pumping up fists and shit, whatnot, you know, all happy and whatnot, all that. They're all about it, right? So, yeah, obviously they must have heard that soundtrack in their head too. Either way, though, I mean, it's really basically at that point, we do get I guess you could say, somewhat what sets up a premise for Dukes to really have a reason to want to, like, not just defeat basically Chun Li, but like have a reason for like vengeance almost, right? Even though he is sort of more, you know, he's not as unethical as he's not gonna be straight killing people. When he actually basically kills, Ray Jackson, basically, right? He's in the hospital, right? They don't really, I think he's like, is he in a coma? I think, basically, or something like that. I don't think he's in a coma.
I think he's in surgery, and then he comes out of surgery and he's just recovering, and then he essentially wakes up and does the Adrian to Rocky,
he regains consciousness, and they do talk, and just go on, win this one for me, right? So, and that of course pays off and leads to that final match, and we all know what goes down with that. I mean, hell, basically, Dukes is too damn good, right? So, Chun Li's got to be dirty and like play, and what was he basically throws some shit in his friggin' eyes or whatever, whatnot, some like pill, which he may have been using the whole time. We don't even know, right? I don't think he was, but he basically breaks up these these pills that his trainer gives him, and he basically throws them, puts them in the air that blinds Dukes, and he fights the last part of the fight blind, and we get that classic shot where he catches the blow. So Cyber, sir, what do you think of I guess you could say probably the almost the final third part of the film where everything moves very quickly, right? But it leads up to that perfect final match, right? And that, that profound battle where, again, John Claude fights blind, for the final part of the battle and still wins. And straight submits him too.
It's a great, last third of the film. I mean, we have, we see, Donald Gibb get beat. And then unfortunately, that's when John's like, I gotta make this right because he shouldn't have done that. We see another, Chun Li kill after that part.
where everyone stands up and even the judges face away when he does it, and he's like going, stuff like that, and they're for them to cheer and shit, and you're just like, no, I'm not cheering for you. You just killed somebody again, you dick. And so it's like, it was a really fun sequence leading up to that final fight. We got some great other action of people fighting each other. We got to see, Frank do that, beat out that Persian or Moroccan fighter guy there that was in Kickboxer. We get to see their great fight. We see, of course, another fight with Chong Li. And then finally we get to the final fight where, basically, Frank has to, he starts to battle him. And then during the process, that's when he gets stuff thrown in his face. And then he has to go back and think about his meditation that he was doing while being blindfolded with his sensei and use that to his advantage. And we get to see him do all that kind of cool stuff while being blind, and which was really cool. And that's when it gets to that one part, I think, that Matt, you were mentioning, when he's doing the kicks and keeps doing the kicks and kicks and kicks on the same row. It's like, wah, wah, wah. And then all of a sudden as that happens, then we go like several times. It goes back and shows him doing like a aerial kick several times too, going so like that in that final battle to beat him. And then he gets him to knock down, and then he's like, basically gets him to, say it and say it, and he does. And so you're like, yeah, you're like, woo, you're rooting, you're like, yeah.
It's very emotional. It really is. Like the way he like John Clark acts it really well. He really does. When he's like, say it, right? And he can't see his shit and everything and whatnot. Like, dude, it looks really it looks real. Like real deal. And no, he does a round of like roundhouse kicks. Then he does the flying fucking kick on him, right? Yeah. That shit, right? And then he does the slow-mo fucking thing.
Well, no, he does the thing when he gets blinded.
Oh yeah,
when he gets blinded.
Yeah. Also, when he orgasms with the chick too, he also
is that what he does? Yeah. Is that what he does? Yeah.
What's quite funny in the final fight is that he's already told everyone that Chong Li's weak in the gut, and he doesn't go to the gut till about the last minute of the fight. I'm like, just smash him in the guts, mate. Like, where his weakness is. But
well, he forgets shit because he's too busy, orgasming with that chick and being like, for like 10 minutes. I mean, fucks him up. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
Jesus Christ.
So, anyways, Matthew, besides the classic line of "Okay, USA," which we haven't even talked about, which is fucking dope. Like, I'm gonna get the T-shirt. I found it earlier today. It's there. It's there. I found it. The "Okay, USA" T-shirt. I'm getting it. Gotta have it. I'll get you one too, Cyber. Don't worry. I'll get you, baby. Gotta have the "Okay, USA." Nobody will know what the fuck it is, but it won't matter. You know what I'm saying? But you know what, though? A T-shirt like that is the kind of shit where if you meet a chick that knows about Bloodsport, yo, you're in, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's Kumite. You're Kumite that shit, right? So there you go. Either way, though, Matthew, yeah, man, tell me. I mean, as a young man, what was that final battle like for you? That final fight. I'm so used to the fandom stuff and the Marvel stuff.
I just loved this movie as a younger man, and I still really enjoy it. Watching it this morning again, and it was great. As we said before, there's just enough emotion to get you really invested in it. And obviously, you get probably the only one flat spot of the movie is when Frank's pondering life and Jackson's health, and when he's on the bus and they've got that song in the background, "On My Own," and it's really easy. He's sitting in his blue sort of get up, and he's on the bus, and that's the only flat spot. But it's building that need to win, that need for vengeance that we spoke about earlier. And it was just when they set the I guess the arena up and they tilt the ends up so that it's a different shape, and like it's a really good fight. Like, Chong Li, from minute one, like, Chong Li cannot beat him. Like, Frank is far too good. And So when he does cheat, you can sort of know that it's coming, and it'll be interesting to know what's in that. Apparently, it was salt, but I don't know. I don't know whether salt would blind him for the 10 minutes of the fight that he's in there. But I did have the chuckle because it was old Chekhov's blindfolded fighting, right? So you go back to why do we need to see him fighting blindfolded back at the early times with Tanaka Shitoshi, and what do you know it? He's going to get blinded in the final fight. So he already knows how to fight blinded. So very clever. Just loved it. It's, I could watch Bloodsport 10 times a year and not disappoint, and still do. Really, it's a great movie. It's great. It's excellent. Yeah.
Well, this one without question I cannot play for as long as the video actually is. It's like 9 minutes long. The final battle video, I can only play like probably 2 minutes of it most without seriously getting in trouble. I don't want to deal with that shit with YouTube, but I can play a little bit of it just to set things up and whatnot, so people can actually, who haven't watched Bloodsport out there, and if you haven't watched it, folks, I'm telling you, it would behoove you to go ahead and watch it.
Cheat.
Uh-oh. Got it. There we go. All right, I'm going to skip ahead. That's the gambling guy. Wow! You fucking got him!
Come on, Frank Dukes, come on!
John Lee!
They hated him 10 minutes before when he murdered the guy. Now they're cheering for him.
I know, I was wondering about that. Like, why the fuck are they cheering for him?
Oh, what a kick. To the guts.
Every blow, there's a slow-mo suspension, like.
More!
Please show us the people with the money. How's that even effective? Oh my God. Anyways, I'm going to stop it there, folks, for suspense, because if you haven't seen this, I don't want to spoil it for you, right? Like, it would not be fair for you to have to see what happens after that. Obviously, you see that Jean-Claude Dukes is hurting, baby. He's hurting, all right? It's not good, man. He threw that punch there like he was like Stevie Wonder in the fight, right? You know, so that wasn't good for him. You know what I mean? No. Of course, somehow the crowd swings over to Dukes' favor throughout the fight. What a surprise. Why they were shouting for Chung Lee, I have no fucking idea. I'm like, when I watched it, and now I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Like, you hated this fucking dude like 5 minutes ago. You hated him. Now, like, he's the hero. Like, why do you want him to win? So you can kill Dukes? I thought Dukes was the fucking guy. Like, I don't know. That part's a little confusing. I don't understand that whole thing. I I don't know why Dukes had to like rebuild his reputation or whatever. What now all of a sudden this fight, with the fucking money waving people and all that. But basically, though, the ending, like is perfect for this type of movie, right? The send off and everything and whatnot, right? Like, it's not all that profound or anything and whatnot. He just goes back to the U.S. and shit, whatnot, and the reporter chick, sends him off and whatnot, everything, and she's all heartbroken because she's in love with him and all this shit. And John Claude's just like, yeah, whatever, man, I'm out of here, Kumate's over, so that's pretty much it. And I mean, there you go. There's your fight. There's your action film. And we make it sound so simple and so basic, but yet the thing about it is you have to watch the damn thing and really grasp the power of it, right? I mean, Matthew, and then you, Cyber, to kind of closing notes on this. Feel free to take as much time as you want. Just as an overall film, I mean, what does it for you, Bloodsport?
Oh, it takes me back to simpler times. Like it was when action movies were just about action, and I miss that time. I miss it when I didn't need to get an hour of backstory about something or motivations or whatever, so I just, it's just such an easy watch. Like I can put this on and I can be working and have it on in the background and just flit in and out of it and not be concerned that I'm going to miss, 25 minutes of necessary story that I'm not going to be able to follow the movie. I just really enjoyed it. Look, it's not an Oscar-winning movie. It's not the world's best-made movie, but it did help that I got to see it at the age that I did, and I've had a long relationship with Bloodsport that shall continue into the future. I'm sure trying to introduce this to my 17-year-old son, he'd probably look at me with a sideways glance and think I'm a bit of an idiot. But like he's the one who's missing out, not me. And he should. I think anyone should watch it and see it for what it is, because it is definitely a slice of time. It's going back in the time machine to '88 and seeing what a simpler time looked like for movies and how they can be made on a shoestring and actually be pretty damn good. Because this movie is pretty damn good when you think about it for what it is. So I love it.
No, and you know what? I was just putting it in the private chat right now. I was thinking to myself, it's funny you mentioned that, Matthew. Cyber, I was thinking to myself earlier, I don't actually this isn't like a tangible thing. I was thinking to myself how awesome it would be if we could actually get young folks that would even care enough or would be willing to even friggin' review and watch, take the time to watch Bloodsport, right? Or watch some of these and even some of the more serious classic films like The Godfather, or Scarface, or even Casino, something like that, right? I just love to see their reactions and what they'd have to say about these kind of films. It would really interest me. It would, to see what this generation would think of this kind of stuff. To you, Cyber.
Oh.
I apologize, sir.
What was the question again?
I wanted your final thoughts on the film overall. Why you enjoy it, and then what do you think about that? Wouldn't you find it interesting too to hear what the younger generation, my daughter, Isabella's age, kids would think of what they would say in a review like this about a movie like this?
Well, overall, this is one of my all-time favorite 80s films. I've loved Bloodsport since the first time I watched it. I actually didn't see it until probably I was in my teens, way after, a few years after it had come out. And I definitely remember just thinking this was such a, an awesome film, and just overall it was really well done. Love it. Just like Matt says, it was an action-packed film that's just action. Brings back those old memories, just it was so much fun. It's such a great film, and I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think he's a fantastic actor, a great martial artist. I mean, from Universal Soldier to Lionheart, Kickboxer, all those films he's always been really fantastic in, and he's a really good, solid, action star. And this actually was the movie that really catapulted him to action star status. After this, he started getting action role after action role, Death Warrant, Sudden Death, all those
Cyborg,
and so forth. And this was just a really cementing, action-packed film that was supposed, was based on somebody's true story, which I found really interesting too, as well. That this Frank Dukes is a real person, and we got to see kind of his life story. Of course, everything's always embellished, so but at the same time, that's just how it is. Because that unfortunately, sometimes the story themselves, the real story, is a little boring, and so it wouldn't really be very theatrical to do it how they have to. So, but overall, this is such a freaking fantastic film. Absolutely love it. Everything about it was great. The action sequences, all the people that were in it were all really, amazing. The music, like I said, soundtrack, one of the all-time best soundtracks out there. Sam Bush was amazing in this film, doing his music and stuff like that. Actually, Sam Bush actually also did the song "The Touch" for the 1986 Transformers animated film, which was another big hit too as well. So he was already cemented a couple years prior as a huge artist. So him being a part of the soundtrack is freaking awesome. And I this is probably one, like I said, one of my all-time favorites. I give it a giant 10 golden movie boxes up. I love this film. Really fantastic film. And to answer your question about younger, I wish, younger folks would watch, the stuff from the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, 30s, just to get a little culture from these films, because they really do. A lot of them provide a lot of great culture, a lot of great things that were very cinematically amazing. And unfortunately, some stuff, a lot of the newer stuff just doesn't have that kind of stuff. So it'd be great to see them, but at the same time, it's not like, oh, I really need them to watch it. You know what I mean? Like it's
no, but I'd love to just listen and hear their thoughts. That's all. It would be intriguing to me. I would find it very, very. I would find it intriguing. I would, to hear what a 19 or 20-year-old kid. But Matthew, we're gonna send you off, brother.
Thank you,
thank
mate.
you for coming on again, man. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys. Enjoyed it. Good choice of movie, and I'll see you guys on the line soon.
Hey,
all right.
We're waiting for our invitation to Born to Watch.
We're going live on YouTube very shortly, and you guys are going to be one of the first we get on. Looking forward to it.
Well, we like the live, so
yeah. So we don't know about that yet. We're about to find out the hard way.
It's all good, man. You can't go wrong.
Was awesome.
All right, man.
Later,
people. Appreciate it. Okay,
all right.
Bye.
Okay, USA, baby. Anyway, Cyber. No, man. I hear you, man. I feel the same way. I don't care if my son or daughter watch Bloodsport, man. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to make or break me or whatever. But at the same time, though, like, I could probably convince my son to watch it. I could. It wouldn't be that hard, probably, if I just told him, like, hey, bro, John Claus is dope. If I show him the trailer, right, or one of those fight scenes and shit, he would watch it, probably. You know what I'm saying? He would watch it. He likes this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? He does. So, I think probably, if anything, what it is that, I don't know, maybe this is something that's generational, but they're younger, and probably just the idea of watching an 80s film itself or a 90s film itself just seems like stupid to them, right? Or boring to them, right? They assume for whatever reason it's garbage. It's not going to do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's, I don't know what that really is, but it's definitely a real generational change, because I remember being younger and like knowing and learning very quickly because of my parents, my dad, my mom, because I watched Bloodsport at like 8 or 7, right? That there was a lot to be fucking had and gained in watching older movies, watching older films. I learned from Jump, right, that there was a lot there. It didn't take me long to figure out the best films out there were the older films, pretty much. That's the change, I think, kind of, at the end of the day. Not that I'm trying to make a point, but it is a big change, because I know you felt the same way.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
We all had that same mentality of like, oh, okay, this is a classic, right? Like everyone, this is a respected film with that respected actors and actresses and whatnot that are renowned. You know what I mean? Whatnot, right? Like for a reason. So at that point, like you would go into it. We knew the names. You know what I mean? We knew, who they were. So we were like, oh, okay. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, at that point, you kind of figure, okay, this is going to be pretty intense. Mel Gibson, God rest his soul. But no, Cyber, thank you, brother. I'm just kidding. No, hey, you know what?
Rest his soul. He's still alive, sir.
I know. I just don't know. I mean, I believe I actually heard that he is actually doing something. I think he's directing a film.
Yep.
Right? Which is good. I'd like to see him back in Hollywood.
Yep.
He's a good director, without question. I think he is. It's really good films. if you like some of that, longer stuff that he does and whatnot and everything, right? Braveheart's a classic. As far as him acting now these days goes, I don't see it happening all that much, but that again, I guess we'll see. But no, folks,
he's done a lot of straight to Blu-ray DVD films.
Oh, really? Has he?
Yeah, in the last 10 years. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and you know what? I bet a lot of that stuff's probably you can find that typically on like Amazon, right? Don't they have a lot of that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that and Netflix does too.
Yep.
Right, and hey, either way, folks. So hey, this is our first like real, I guess you could say, non-fandom type film that we reviewed, and obviously we'll put it together better and have structured out better and whatnot as we go, but as we always do, but the next one will be on Cyber, right? So he will pick a good one. This is his area, not mine, right? I'm more of the comedic effect guy. I'm not necessarily the cinematic guy. As Cyber it sort of supersedes me when it comes to his film knowledge, with his whole watching 14 movies in the theater a week lifestyle. This is a smidge? Yeah, just a smidge. Just a smidge, yes. I saw you hit 620 subscribers, my friend.
Yes, sir.
That's good, right? Hey,
Yeah.
that's 4 or 5 or 6 more than last show.
It's actually 11 more than last
11
show.
more. Yeah, I saw it right before the show. I was showing Matthew in the studio. I was like, "Hey, look, Cyber fucking hit 620 today, man." I was checking. I was checking in you. I was checking in on you.
Yep.
Well, hey, what'd you think, baby? Hey, does it feel good to be doing something different?
I enjoyed it. I always enjoy doing movie reviews. I can do anything. I can do a little short 5-minute movie. I love anything. You know me.
I know you can. I don't know how Matthew does these 1-minute film reviews or whatever, whatnot. I don't know how the fuck anybody does that. I don't know how you do it, really. But then again, whatever. No, folks. This is a different direction for us, but we keep on going in different directions, and that's a good thing, I think. But hey, we've got lots of fandom stuff coming. Sunday this weekend, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I am wrapping up an article that I started last weekend, ranking the top 9 MCU performances from Phase 1 through Phase 4, the best acting performances. I'll have Jasmine on, I'll have Sally Gibbs Girl on, I'll have a couple of other creators on, and we'll just basically finish the article up and wrap it up and whatnot. We've got summer coming up, right? And we've got Secret Invasion coming up. Should be great. Really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be freaking epic. I really do. I think Cyber, you probably would agree, right?
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fantastic. Can't wait to do it.
I don't see how you can't. I don't see how you can go wrong with that premise. Those trailers are unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
They're really that good. But and then basically, I believe, if I understand correctly, the only thing we might get this year will be Loki season 2. Right, from a Marvel standpoint, Disney Plus wise, I think they're only going to go with probably at the most 2 series this year.
I think so.
Which might be a good move, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll help them get back on track with being Phase 1 quality again.
I'd say so. I honestly, I'm all for it. If they only want to do Secret Invasion, I'm fine with it. I don't mind. I really don't. But we've got the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming out.
Yep.
Very soon. We'll be reviewing that very soon. That'll be a lot of fun. But I really think that this doing these reviews is going to open up a lot of doors for us. Right, immediately. Just by as far as collaborations goes and whatnot and everything, there's so many other podcasts and YouTubers that just straight review film, right? That just letting them know that we're doing this and just reaching out to them and telling them, hey, we're reviewing Bloodsport this Friday. You want to come on? I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying, Cyber. It ain't gonna be hard to make those collaborations happen. Mm-hmm. So, and I love that part. That's great. Hopefully, we'll get to meet some great creators through that. But thanks everybody as always for your support and everything and whatnot. We appreciate you. I'm not gonna pull anything up or anything like that and whatnot. We're just gonna get the hell out of here. It is Friday evening. Cyber probably has to work tomorrow, I think. Or what is tomorrow your day off, Cyber, or Sunday?
Tomorrow is.
Either way, I'm sure he'd like to spend some time with his wife. I'm sure you're watching another movie tonight, probably, right?
Oh yeah, you know it.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know, I'm always watching something. What are you talking about?
I was going to say, are you watching a TV series I don't know about?
No, not at this moment. No, I mean we've been watching some comedy series, but that's about it.
I told you I've been watching the Clone Wars. It's all right. It's not bad. Man, that fucking Ahsoka trailer is fucking sick, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's sick, dude. It really is bad. And I love that actress. Why I have a hard time with her name sometimes, I have no idea.
Rosario,
yes. It was great in Daredevil. But no, I mean, we've got a lot of good stuff, folks. I got to be honest with you. I think that 2023, basically, we're going to kill it for the rest of the year. Right? And I think probably next Monday will be our first Monday show. I'm going to go ahead and start off our first Monday show. Not even sure what we're going to cover yet or what I'm going to do. Who I'll have on, but I'm going to do it, the show either way. And Cyber, you have no idea the frustration and the patience required that I'm dealing with right now with Ticketmaster and everything, everything to get your ass down here to go fucking do Rockville with me in Daytona Beach, baby. But I'm making it happen. It's going down. We're getting after it, brother.
Yep.
There's no way around it.
Don't forget, next Wednesday we'll be doing the finale of Mandalorian season 3.
Oh my God, that's right. And hey, episode 7 was excellent. It really was. So you're right. Wednesday, 9:35 p.m. Eastern, 6:35 p.m. Pacific. Folks, come join us. The finale of The Mandalorian, which honestly might be the last time we see, Pascal, in the series. Basically, he may not be, in Mandalorian at this point. But besides that, we got a ton of shit that we're going to be covering, folks. And next Friday, at this point, until I talk to Cyber, I don't know what we're going to review yet. But all I know is it'll be fucking dope, just like Bloodsport. And until then, Cybernetic Shark, you want to close this out?
As always, people, make sure to go subscribe to my channel and make sure to subscribe to the MCU's Bleeding Edge so you don't miss out on any of our awesomeness. And we are out of here, folks. Peace.
Peace.
Bring the band in. Woo. Well, all right. Yeah, they want me to fit in, but I can't. I'm too different with it. Too advanced to think. You know my intuition. I got bars and ink, but never in a prison. Too far gone, never gonna sit and listen. This is optimism mixed with the best. You get it? What you see in this